For this sweet eats, I'm going to eat a Bartlett pear. I'm figuring out the height of this chair for filming video fun. This is what a Bartlett pear looks like. It's spelled with 2 T's at the end. It's kind of a yellowy green sometimes. And I'm going to eat it. This is like my quintessential Tanis. My name is Tanis Leonhardi. This is the channel Tanis Leonhardi. I'm going to eat this how I have become known to eat pears. I eat pears actually a number of different ways. But I'm going to do something I call chunking for this one. And this was something I developed in graduate school, this kind of eating style. What I'm wearing today, I'm wearing my golden fleece, not my golden fleece, my golden sweatshirt. My parents and my whole family call this cut a boy's cut. Right. It's a close cut as opposed to a V cut, a boy's cut. But I don't know why. I'll ask why, and they're like, it's just called a boy's cut. It's always been called a boy's cut. We're older than you. You should know. My parents were born in the 1950s, and then my grandparents will say that, and they're born in what, like the 1920s and 1930s or whatever. So I just okay. And so my outfit was chosen by my Leon. And fun fact about my Leon's hair is actually the same color as Leon Marchand, who I have actually gone and seen swim in person. He came and talked to me, and he was very friendly. And he even let me see his hair outside of his swim cap. And the color is actually kind of spot on for my Leon. And this is an apron I made with in approximately 2005, which was a badge of honor of sorts. It was a home economics class, and I later went on to be the teaching assistant for that home economics class. And I made it with fabric from, I've worn this before, back in 17 March 2022 for St. Patrick's Day, making my grandmother's recipe Irish soda bread, because I'm part Irish, but it's made from fabric from JOANN Fabrics and Fabric and Crafts, which I actually mentioned more recently this year on 11 September 2023. And I'll link to both those videos in the video description, as well as my other 2 most recent sweet eats for pears, a d'Anjou pear and a Bosque pear. And so let's jump into it now that I've said what I'm wearing and where it comes from. And my Leon even wants me to put this as my channel was it featured video trailer, so to speak, for returning and new people. I try to keep that video the same. So maybe I'll make it Sweet Eats Bartlett pear, donning an apron I made in approximately 2005 with fabric from JOANNs. We called it JOANNs growing up. And so I made it in middle school, approximately 2005 in my home economics class. All right, and I got to pick out the fabric and stuff, and it was fun. And there's that. Pears are something I eat on the Tanis Diet in its variations in place of an apple. Sometimes I do like pears. They can be a bit sweeter for me. And so let's start chunking in. I'll link to my Sweet Eats playlist as well. And my Tanis Diet playlist and my Tanis Diet definitions playlist. This is kind of a preparation how I eat pears. I like this because I can kind of control the size of the pear piece that I'm eating. And I don't get juice running down my chin and stuff. Oh, and recipes and preparations. This is just a basic dinner knife. Pears are, when ripe, very easy to cut. So like I just cut that. I also, when I make apple pie, actually peel the apples with this. My sister uses like a coring machine, as do my grandparents now. We used to always do it by hand, like with this kind of a knife or like a small paring knife. But my grandparents got arthritis, so now they use a coring machine. Or my grandma. Everybody else is dead, including my step-grandma. My step-grandma loved lemon drops. Her name was Carol. And my sister did too. I did not. My granddad, Andrew, did not like them either. But at least compared to Carol, they were something that she brought kind of to the family. But then he did like them enough to keep them in like a camper van and stuff when we were growing up. A camper van older than I was, and I was born in the 1992, 1993 approximately. This is very good. It's not too sweet, which makes me happy. I would call it medium large to large. Which is like 110 calories to 140 calories. Difference between them and, oh, one last thing on the apple pies. Apple pies are my sister's favorite pie, or have been, historically speaking. I don't know if that's changed. They are one of my least favorite pies, though I do eat them, but they're not my favorite. They probably don't make my top 50%. Fun fact. Okay. Now, on the pears versus apples. Apples I like because of the crunch. Texturally, I find them satisfying, and flavor-wise too. But if I want something crunchy, I go with the apple. If I want something like smooth and soft, I'll go with the pear kind of thing. Another fun fact. In 2020, if you were following my channel back then, I actually put videos out on it. I ran for President of the United States of America with Hillary Rodham Clinton as my vice president on my ticket. And had I been elected, I would have been the youngest elected president in history at 27 years of age. And I would have been the first elected president. I was born in Norway. At least supposedly. And if not, then it was 28 years old and born in Seattle, Washington State, United States of America. I put out a video on who I would ask to be in my cabinet. So this is going to go into that playlist because that was about talking about my voting history. I voted for myself and Hillary Clinton for president back in 2020. Myself for president, Hillary Rodham Clinton for vice president. I actually received multiple votes. I was not elected president and she was not elected vice president. Our ticket did not pass the vote of America, United States of America. What was it like voting for myself? It was cool. We have write-in. So I actually went with the Boston Tea Party because my family arrived in the United States of America before it was the United States of America. Right? That wasn't even the name for it back then. So I was like, that's an ode to being a Mayflower descendant on one of my family lines. It was very cool to receive multiple votes. Yeah. Would I change my cabinet moving forward if I get elected at some point in my life? I might add a bunch of people. There's some really cool YouTubers and Yelpers on this world that maybe should be in the, would be, I would ask. If you want to know who on YouTube, you can start with my featured channels. I'm filming this on Wednesday, 11 October 2023. In the Sargent community in the city of Shoreline, King County, Washington State, United States of America, Plant Earth, the original. And I like to eat all of my pear. So once I've chunked a fair amount off, I still like to tear the meat off. Meat, flesh. It's not so much a flesh as like something like a strawberry. It's a texturally unique fruit. I love pears. I think if I were to provide a synopsis of my life, I would probably rank them above apples, but I like in terms of how much I like them. However, that doesn't mean I eat them more. I think I've actually even brought this up on this channel before. That particular, I like pears more, but it doesn't mean I eat them more. I like having that crunch that apple provides, but that doesn't mean I like apples more than pears. Pears tend to be more consistent in terms of like flavor too. I don't know. Oh, what would I rate that? I'll give that a 41 out of 10. It was good. And a good evening snack on the Tanis Diet with running low volume. That's what I'm currently on for, because yes, I packed on a few pounds, so it's It's coming down. Yeah, but happy JOANN Fabrics. I call it. Why do I call this badge of sorts? I think it was a badge of sorts a badge of honor and source of realizing an apron is a good thing to have to not ruin my clothes, especially when cooking and baking, but also just eating. So who knows? Maybe I'll wear this tomorrow too, if I do another one of these videos. We'll see. Lots of links in the video description. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for viewing this whenever you're viewing it, and thank you for viewing it for wherever you're viewing it from, wherever you're viewing it from.